Welcome to Roots and Wings, a podcast helping business leaders achieve strategic growth.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm David Solomon, and I'm a fractional chief revenue officer.
I am Jennifer He. I'm a fractional chief marketing officer.
Today, look, if you've been to cocktails, parties, networking events, you name it, you probably have heard 10,000 pieces of advice, and you're asking yourself, who should I listen to? Who makes sense?
Yeah.
Should I really be listening to my best friend? Should I be listening to my accountant? So, Jennifer, I got to tell you, you've had this experience and I've had this experience. When I launched my business a year and a half ago, I called people I relied upon and asked them very, very pertinent questions. And I think we'll go through who some of those people are based on, that. But, from what you've seen,
Yeah.
let's frame this for everybody in terms of the word opinion. Jennifer, what have you seen?
Yeah. So, this actually problem or like concern, I heard a lot from my target audience. That's why we brought it up, like thinking this is a common thing, for business owners and business leaders. I heard people say, oh, okay, everybody has an opinion how I should run my business. So whose opinions matter is the question here. And, I would always say your target audience. That's the first priority. Always your target audience. Their opinions matter, but you don't need to take them literally. So getting into understanding what's the underlying concern or why behind those opinions. So I would always put the first priority on your target audience, your target customers.
It's actually very funny because what you bring up is I speak to, they tell me, okay, so you do revenue growth. Yeah. But my accountant told me, my lawyer told me. And I say the same thing. But what did your customers tell you? If you want to grow your business today, you have to address, and we've talked about this, how many times in this in this podcast, what concerns them? What's their pain point? How are you helping them? And really, at times, your clients don't really, really know. They really don't know because they haven't thought it through. But when you sit down with the customer and you say, we're thinking of, we're not sure of, could this help you? Could this be of value to you? That opinion, that voice that you said matters the most because your lawyer isn't paying you, your accountant's not paying you, your banker is not paying you, your clients are paying you.
Yeah.
And so if you have no idea what your customers need, then you're just taking, at least at the beginning, you're taking the wrong opinion. Now, not every customer is equal, Jennifer. I think we've both seen that. One might say zig, the other might say zag, and you're going to go, oh my God, they both want completely opposite. What should I do? Well, don't pick one. I hope you've spoken to at least 10, 20, 30 clients, prospects, and heard from them because the law of averages will somewhere zig or zag will whoa, there we go. There's your customer calling, wanting to get your opinion. But
Apologize.
that's okay. Hey, we love this. This is all natural. But I think that when we're talking to customers, how, Jennifer, you've done a lot of these type of conversations with clients. How would you tell your client to approach a customer at this point?
So like, I'll give them some shortcuts, like the shortcuts to a customer empathy. I will always say immersive experiences, meaning like experience what that person experienced in real life, and observation, interviews, having a conversation with that person, and structure this conversation with an intent going to the conversation. So those are all very important. Besides, big data will tell you who to talk to. I would say, this is how you listen to your target audience opinions. And before today's episode, David, we summarize four kinds of voices, like in our experiences, in our expertise area, we think people should listen to. So your target audience always top priority, but the other three voices, I don't have particular priorities of them. So do you want to, you know?
Before we get in there, before we go down that road, and don't want to talk about that, but I want to talk about one more thing about target customers, what you said about
Mhm,
surveys and empathy and whatever. We think we're nagging our customers. You
mhm,
know, there are these wonderful survey monkeys and all these other technology is amazing, and Jennifer, and we can send to our customers surveys.
mhm,
Uh, we can pick up the telephone. We can take them for lunch. We really want to sit and have a conversation with them, and it's not intrusive like we think it is. You think about it. Why are and I don't know about you, but I recently got a customer survey from a small player,
mhm,
and I found it interesting. So I opened it, I looked at it, and I went, "Hey, these are great questions you're asking me." And they called me after and said, actually, they asked me beforehand, can we call you if we want to follow up on that? And I'm like, absolutely, love to talk to you about it. And we had this really wonderful, engaging conversation. And I felt heard. And my loyalty then to this customer, to this organization has been solidified
mhm,
because I felt the empathy. I
mhm,
felt that immersiveness, as you said, but also I felt that engagement. I felt that they really do care about it. And it's not just taking my money and run.
mhm,
And so it just happens to be a week later, their competitor sent me an email. Hey, we want to talk to you and love. Oh, thank you. Not interested.
mhm.
Not interested.
Yeah.
I have my affinity and my loyalty on this side. So I don't know if but so that's just my personal feelings on what I've done with target
Mhm,
customers
mhm.
and what they've done with me.
Yeah.
But for me, I like you, I network a lot. And I meet quite a few successful people.
Mhm,
And for me, my conversations with them is always, how'd you get there? Tell me about your journey.
mhm,
I want to hear where they failed,
mhm,
what they learned, how they
mhm,
succeeded, what obstacles, how were they blindsided, you name it. Because
mhm,
I think from there, Jennifer, I learn a lot from those type of conversations. I'm not
mhm,
saying I'm taking their advice 100%,
mhm.
but successful people have done something that I could
Yeah.
take away. What do you see?
So we're entering into the second voice, not in priority order. Like we just talk about target audience. Now we're talking about some successful people whose success that you aspire to. We say that success leaves a trail. It doesn't guarantee future success, but it leaves a trail. So with some people, like, their success is what you want. You need to listen to them. So for me as well, like, when I first started my own practice, I
Mhm.
have mentors who have successful consulting practice. Like there are so many consultants out there. I'm like, why are they successful? So I listen to them. And similar to your business as well, like, look for those people like whose success you want.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's what I'm doing. And when people ask me why would you speak to somebody? And I just spoke to somebody in Grenada.
Mhm,
Grenada? Like, why would you go? Who's all the way out in Grenada that you could possibly have a connection with? And when I heard his journey and what he's done and what he's accomplished, I was like, there's my nugget.
mhm,
That's what I'm looking for,
mhm,
in that conversation. Not everything, but just something in that conversation made me go, I had an aha moment where now I'm like, okay, I've seen that, I've experienced that. Here's how I can overcome it. And I think that that's really key. Look, for me, your accountant may be successful and your lawyer may be successful, and they could be the right people to have that kind of conversation with. But be very careful of and this is where I give everybody a little bit of a warning. Their journey is not your journey, and your path is not their path, and what they've done and how they see the world. And we've talked about personalities in previous podcasts. Your accountant and your lawyer do not have your personality in all likelihood. They might, but they probably don't. And so
Mhm.
they see things differently and they view things differently and their experience is different. So just as you're going through those conversations, Jennifer, we want to look for patterns, absolutely, but taking them super literally, oof, I start to get a little shaky. I don't want to go down that road. But so Jennifer, but then our third category that we've talked about. And
Mhm.
those are the experts. Those are the industry experts.
Industry experts, yes.
Yeah. Talk to me about your experience because you've been global. You've been around the world. You probably have connected and seen phenomenal experts.
Mhm.
What would you tell our listeners what to do in this case?
Mhm. So, and every industry is different. So there are nuances in each industry. If you want to, like, say, succeed in a particular industry, there are industry um, experts that you should listen to, because that will save you time. To avoid unnecessary mistakes. That is what I would say, because I specialize in industry like technology, financial services, professional services, and retail. So I'll tell you, in financial services, our statements are different from other industry, right? So yeah, and recently I had a business owner of a utility company,
Mm,
outreach to us. I
wow.
would say, in your industry, I need to listen to you on your particular industry, because you are the expert in it. Then for us, we specialize in some areas that you want. For instance, stakeholder communication, right? So other consultants will do process improvement for you. But in your industry, if you get a long-term contract, you might not need expertise in lead generation, say, in this particular sense. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, like industry experts, because utilities are totally different from financial services.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the one thing people are always afraid of is like, oh my God, how am I going to find these industry experts?
Go to industry.
Know what? Go to an event, go to your association. If you're part of an association, there are experts in that field. There are people who can actually help you.
Yeah.
But folks online, oh my God, YouTube has got a like LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually, to me, would be the better place to go. YouTube's a good secondary place. Find the chat rooms, find the common themes, things that you are looking for, and you'd be amazed at what you find out there. A lot of industry publications, a lot of are out online, you know, but also, look at from government sites. And this is where the governments have a lot of experts. Here in Quebec, we're very fortunate. We have something called Investissement Québec, which is Investment Quebec, which is a lot of very much industry experts and they understand. So whether if you're in Canada, it's BDC, for example, they are not too shabby. Expert EDC, these guys, and I know we're going to talk about these specialized professionals in a second, but these are industry experts that I'm talking about, Jennifer, who are really, they get it. And I'll tell you, when I had one of my clients expand into Belgium, they said to me, well, what do you know? How do we know? How do we do this? And I picked up the phone and I contacted the person from Investment Quebec, because they're a Montreal-based company, and said, this company would like to expand into Belgium. Who are the industry experts in Belgium I could speak to that I can connect this person with? And it
Mhm.
was phenomenal who we got to talk to us. You would have never just, simply necessarily picked up the phone and say, hey, can I talk to you? They made the connection. So your government, your embassies, especially if you want to grow into new markets, they have all these connections. Use them. They'll put you in touch with the industry experts, and you'll be amazed at what you could get as information. Because the last thing you want to do is to, oh, go, I think that. No, go get the industry experts to validate your thoughts, Jennifer. I don't know. That's just what I've seen. And I know you've been around the world, you've
Yeah.
seen these things, but our industry experts are much closer today than they've ever been.
Hmm. Hmm. And they're willing to help you
Absolutely.
and provide their insights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get to the final one because I kind of touched a little bit, and that's
Mhm.
those specialists, those special
Yeah.
professionals,
Yeah.
people who have a specific expertise. So Jennifer, you're a fractional CMO, well respected. You've been there, done
Well, thank
that.
you. And you
What,
too.
what, what? So what do you tell customers? Like, why? Like, what would you tell them at this point?
So I'll give you an example. Recently, yeah, I have a ceiling like damage in my house.
Okay.
So I searched out a contractor to repair my ceilings. So this is what I'm saying, like specialized professionals.
Mhm.
I'm not looking for him to run my business, right? So I'm not looking for him to have a successful business
Right.
as long as he knows how to repair my ceilings and
Well said.
like how to cut out the damaged area and put a drywall and smooth out the surface and
Right.
do the painting. So that's what I'm saying. The specific tasks that you want done. For instance, people come to us. We have private clients on personal brand and styling, right? Those are all specialized areas. And also, yeah, people think they know what a brand is, but then do you know how to build a brand step
Right.
by step, right?
Right.
And another examples can be CRMs, client relationship management. So there are softwares applications. That's the system side. And there's also human systems. There are techniques. How do you manage those relationships? So
Mhm.
those are the things. It requires a specialized skill set.
Right.
So this category is very different from the second category we talk about. Whose
Mhm.
success you want,
Yep.
but this category, you're not looking for those experts have to run your kind of business successfully, but they can do specific tasks for you.
And I'll tell you,
Those
one
opinions matter too.
one of the things, yeah. So one of the things is that I have, I've had clients who said to me, we have to put in a new ERP system. It's an enterprise resource system, which
Yeah.
basically it's your for everything from your accounting to your inventory to your CRM. It's an all-in-one software.
Mhm.
And they said, yeah, we spoke to the salesperson and we're going to put this in. And I went, what are you nuts? Whoa, 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 slow down. You spoke to a salesperson. What? No, 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 no. I brought them in somebody. She's a phenomenal operational process expert. I
Mhm.
said, before you decide on the tool, let's finalize the problem. Let's just understand what the problem is. Let's understand what your solution should be before you go and take the solution. Because they kind of worked it backwards. And unfortunately, we rely on salespeople as our industry experts, or for that matter, the specialized professional. No, they're not specialized professionals because they truly do not understand what you do and how you do it. And you need to bring the right people into it. And so my friend is fantastic this way because she goes in and she looks at the company and she goes, yeah, no, we're going to do it this way because this is the problem that you have and this is how it's going to work. And here's your business flows and whatever. So bringing in the right professionals do matter. And so if I were to look for a marketing strategy, I'm not bringing in my niece or nephew to go and build out a website. That doesn't make sense anymore. Those days are long gone because now marketing needs a complete strategy in itself, whether you're a small business or a large business. So Jennifer, you would be the person, and this is not about selling Jennifer services, folks. Don't worry about it. But it's about understanding and positioning why we do what we do and why we are specialized professionals is because we've been there, we've done that. But we look at things agnostically. We're not looking at things to sell you a product or to sell you a service or to sell
Mhm.
you something that we're commissioned on. The
Mhm.
opposite. If you talk to my five of my clients, they're going to tell you I work completely different with all five of them
Mhm.
because they have different needs. It's not a cookie cutter. I'm not selling
Mhm.
them the
Mhm.
same thing. And I think that this is what people are afraid of. And yes, you're going to pay.
Mhm.
This is we're the paid part of it. Okay, I'm sorry to say we're the paid part of it, but there's an ROI. There is an execution where the
Mhm.
first where the customer will pay you, and then you have the your network and your industry experts. There's no financial exchange. The specialized professionals you bring in, you should be expected to pay because they're going to bring you something that is tangible and
Mhm.
applicable right away, as opposed to, yeah, okay, we'll buy a piece of software. It's not what we're talking about here. Jennifer,
Mhm.
I don't know what your experience like in that area.
Uh, jump
What I'm
into, yeah,
saying,
sorry.
as a specialized professional, people asking you, hey, can you help me? Of course you can
Mhm.
help.
Mhm.
But I think from a marketing perspective,
Mhm.
you come about it not selling them, oh, this client A did this, you need it. Or here's a website. I'm bringing you my website developer because that's not what you bring to the table. You
Mhm.
bring them something that they can go, okay, this is going to make my company grow.
Yeah. And my experiences has been like we do an assessment. Then out of that assessment, we will see what needs to be done. So that's the process.
And I
And
think that's a very important key, what you just said,
yeah.
is a lot of salespeople, and this is the difference, salespeople will not necessarily bring you an analysis. They won't ask you a lot of very good questions. They won't do a needs analysis. They're selling you.
Hmm.
They're not specialized professionals.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's it. So I think in kind of like bringing this all together,
Hmm.
because we're getting closer to the end of this podcast,
Yeah.
I think what we have, you know, what would you tell somebody at this point about all these opinions that they're
Hmm.
hearing? What
Hmm.
would be your best advice at this point?
Uh, I think uh, we can all be overwhelmed with opinions, and especially with today's digital world, right? When we flip through our phones and social media, we can hear a lot of things. So, how we summarize for you, like we also want to listen from you, like what we are missing, because again, categorize those four, and first priority is always your target customers. Their opinions matter the most.
Right.
Um, then we have, industry experts, specialized professionals, and mentors or advisors whose success you want. Those are the four categories. I would say, not all opinions are created equal. So decide wisely, choose wisely, but don't get all voices overwhelm you. You need to
I'll
be
take,
very clear. Yeah.
yeah, I'll take it even a step further. You're 100%. Well, there's two things. One is you're 100% right. There, you can get overwhelmed, and we didn't is we tend to go to where we feel it's the most comfortable.
Mm.
And that's not always the best. Like sometimes where it's least comfortable is where you need to head. And so really, this is where if you take the opinions, the group opinions and whatever, and you bring in a neutral individual to help you to guide you through those opinions, you're going to find that somewhere in that combination is what you're looking for. And it may not be the easiest, but it shouldn't be the easiest, unfortunately. We're not into business
Mhm.
because it was fun and it's easy. We got into it because there was a challenge, and so no single opinion is there. But the other thing which I've gotten, Jennifer, was, can you guarantee me? Now that's paralyzing,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, you're waiting for someone to give you this guarantee that your opinion is 100% right. I can't guarantee anything but death, taxes, and your children giving you heartburn. Okay, that's about the extent of what I can guarantee you. What I can tell you is, if you overanalyze, you'll go nowhere.
Mhm.
And I'll give you, one of those things is, you talked about all this information. I have a very good friend who's a doctor, and he says to me, how many times people come to me and said, I went on to WebMD, and I think this is what I have.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, 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 you don't. No, you don't. And so we do that as a business. We come up, we hear the opinions we like, we hear the opinions, we analyze what we want, and then we go, yeah, this is the problem, this is the solution.
Mhm.
Be really careful when you're going through that.
Mhm.
But if you want to go that way, be decisive,
Mhm.
act. Don't sit and wait for it's foggy up behind me. The sun ain't coming out, folks. Not today.
Mhm.
So act. Be prepared to act if you're really convinced on that. But I still believe that your clients are number one, but a specialized professional is really, really key in helping you and guiding you in what you're where you're going to head to.
Mhm.
So let's wrap this up for everybody, Jennifer. Any last words? Any key? Anything you'd like to leave our wonderful friends here with, as they're now going, geez, I gotta go call my customers.
Yeah. I I would say ultimately, the only opinion that matters is yours, and use external insights to shape, not replace your perspective, because you are in your business, and some people can help you to get on your business, but yeah, your final decision is yours, and choose wisely who to listen to. We're just here to provide some tips.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the last to me, the last thing is, calling your friend, listening for things you want to hear. That's not going to help you.
No.
The world is changing, pivoting. If you look today, how AI is going to impact your business today. Um, your nephew, your niece, your daughter, your son might tell you one thing. Friends will tell you another thing. Business expert, folks,
Look
you got
for specialized professionals to tell
yeah,
you what's the
you
right
got
thing to do for
you
you.
got you got to sit with your customers. You got to listen, and you know what? The decision may not be so easy. And so take the time, but don't take an enormous amount of time. And like and again, when you're ready, go. Because at the end of the day, you're right, Jennifer. The business owner is the ultimate decision maker. And if you're going to make a decision to go, but also be prepared to pivot. Like just remember that. So, with that, folks, we're going to wrap up this edition of Roots and Wings. We thank you so much for listening to this edition, and we look forward to catching you next time. And so, if you have any comments or something that we have not said, Jennifer mentioned that earlier in the podcast, put your comments in the comments field below. We do accept all comments. We want to hear your experiences. Share with us what you've experienced. Who has been your best advisor in your world as a business owner? Who has guided you the best? Did we miss someone in our top four that you say, no, this was my
Yeah.
advisor? And we look forward to hearing from you. Reach out to us if you have any questions. If you're looking for any marketing strategies, Jennifer is always is available to have that kind of conversation. And if you're looking for revenue growth, that is my area. So until next time, Jennifer, have yourself a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day, everybody. Stay well, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.